Hello, everyone. My name is Khloé Karova, publisher of LGNSQ, the Logan Square Book. In August 2019, photographer Saverio Trulia had documented a hip-hop festival taking place at the Centennial Monument, also known as the Eagle. Also, writer Ines Bellina was there interviewing people about their recollection of history of hip hop in Logan Square. And I want to thank B-Boy B, Breaker Ray, and Flash for giving us permission to document this event. Also, one of the things that I would like to share with you is the full cut from the photographer. So I'm going to share with you a lot of the photos, a lot of these images of the battle for the Eagle that we just could not include in the book for space. And I'm going to read to you Inez's interview with B-Boy B. So this is the battle for the Eagle. I hope you enjoy. Logan Square was pivotal in the development of hip-hop culture in Chicago, where graffiti writing emerged as a positive response to gang culture. The Artistic Bombing Crew, ABC, is one of the organizations whose mission is to preserve hip-hop culture and maintain order in the graffiti community. As told by B-Boy B, one of the founders, I grew up a few blocks from here, and as kids, we used to meet every Sunday at the Eagle, the Centennial Monument, to break dance and do graffiti in our black books. That was in the 1980s when everyone was breaking and doing graffiti. Kids from different parts of the city come here to hang out with us. Logan Square became a hub because the train station gave easy access from all over. We were creating a culture of hip hop. It didn't exist yet. After a while, this is B-Boy B, here he is, in front of a Lardo piece. Again, the photographer is Saverio Trulia. After a while, I started calling this a writer's bench. The term comes from New York, and it's a place where graffiti writers meet. There were other writers' benches in Chicago, like the one at 54th and Lakefront, downtown, and the one at the Red Line, but this was the first one. We started meeting here in 1982. I started ABC with a friend from the neighborhood, Angel, who is the A in ABC. My name is Berto, so I am the B. Then ABC stood for Angel Berto Crew. But when the crew got more than 7 people, I changed the name to Artistic Bombing Crew. If you are a graffiti writer, you would put your graffiti name and a number. And that's what they did in the early years of New York City. Those traditions, I want to be pure to, says Breaker Ray. Here is Breaker Ray, a Logan Square resident and one of the early graffiti artists and now a hip hop preservationist. The Artistic Bombing Crew was one of the first Latino hip hop groups in this area. We document the history of hip hop in Chicago. We are gatekeepers. If we see something off track, we talk to the main authority figures and they respect us because we have paid our dues. B-Boy B talks about how breakdancing emerged in Chicago. We would go out to Janelle's, which was a juice bar for 11 to 14-year-olds to pretend they were at a nightclub. And we would break dance against other crews. Janelle's wasn't hip hop, it was freestyle and dance music, but we would still break dance to it. We would forge our culture onto Chicago music. We would break dance to house music. Oh, I gotta show you this guy. Classic crews of Chicago, yeah. Look at all these people. Oh, this is one of my favorites. I was one of Saverio's favorites. Check this out. We would forge our culture onto Chicago music. We would break dance to house music. Other crews started to come into Logan Square to break dance. West Side rockers used to come here to practice. When we were in our late teens and went off to college, a younger crew, JBL, Just Being Large, kept the tradition going for about 10 years. Some members of JBL became the Brickheads in the late 70s and early 80s. The late 70s and early 80s were full of hip hop and breakdancing, and then it disappeared off of the face of the earth, except in Chicago. It stayed alive with JBL and the Brickheads. When it resurfaced in the mid 1990s and early 2000s, it came back in a heavy fashion. Now, big corporations are involved. In the 2000s, breakdancing became commercialized. It's in 7-Up advertisements. Red Bull is doing breaking events. When the breakdance battle scenes became corporate, the biggest winners were the Brickheads because they never stopped. Oh, let's look at some of these photos. Oh man, I told Severio, it's like, hey Severio, I want you to get in there, get up close to people. And let me tell you, he did not disappoint. This is sweet juices. I love this figure. I love this figure. This says so much. Says so much about the spirit of the event. Look at these guys in the background. Look at these guys. This man, he's got a 606 on his t-shirt. You can hardly see it, but man, there's just like, that was just so much good energy at that event. Battle for the Eagle, folks. I hope they do it again this summer. In 1985 was the first battle for the Eagle, and we just took over the place, according to Breaker Ray. And B-Boy B, he adds, in 2012, Lady Champ became involved, started getting permits. Today, it's organized by the Renegades of Funk, a nonprofit that is supported by a number of crews who all have a stake. This is a community event and a cultural event. And it has always been free because our culture historically is a poor people's culture. Outside in the park, just like the traditional hip hop style that came out of New York in the 1970s. All right, let's take a look at some of these photos. Yeah, you love it. Man, Breaker Ray again. So let me read on. Everything that's happening was a staple that we learned in New York City. This is Breaker Ray speaking. We give honor to where we came from. We give honor from where we came from, and we also apply the history. We give the pioneers our blessing, but now it is time for the new generation to take it forward. You want to know what hip hop is, like what is hip hop? I did not know what hip hop culture was until I read Ines Bellina's interview with these fine folks, with Breaker Ray, B-Boy B, Flash. Wow, so much history, and right here in Logan Square. It was just amazing. Now, when you say hip hop, you know, a lot of people, they don't see all this. They don't see all this. What they see is on television. This is B-Boy B talking. What did you say? I'm getting emotional here. What they see is on television: rap, murder, guns, girls. And we came from an era where hip hop is all the elements together. Logan Square in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s was infested with gangs. The reason we did hip hop was to get away from the gangs and the violence. We were too busy crafting our skills in graffiti and breaking, says B-Boy B. No one says a swear word on stage, and that's not true hip hop culture to us. What makes a person is your experiences. It wasn't until I left the neighborhood that I realized that there are people who did not grow up with daily violence. Does that feel familiar to you? I lost friends every year to death, prison, or they moved to Puerto Rico or Connecticut. That violence shaped our culture of hip hop. which is unique in this world. Our style is very aggressive. Again, this is B-Boy Beats speaking. When someone goes outside of Chicago to compete, our breaking looks very aggressive. Breaking looks very aggressive. Yeah. Let's bring this back. Love this image. Even if we're just b-boying, we mean mucky. It's still friendly, but it has that attitude. In graffiti, we flip our enemies' names upside down as a sign of disrespect. We are the only city in the world that does this. Before gentrification was here, that was the culture in Logan Square. And it's still the culture in some Latino and Black neighborhoods. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Man, I look at these images. I look at these images. I look at this image here. And all I could say is long live hip hop. Long live hip hop. And all of you Battle of the Eagle fans out there, please keep it going. We got to pass on this culture. We have got to keep it going. Hip hop, don't stop. To see more pictures from the book, go to lgnsq.com and you can buy your copy. And also, we are going to be doing a photo exhibit. We're going to be doing a photo exhibit in the month of June near the Centennial Monument, near the Eagle. So thank you so much for watching.